are about to be, it's loading, but we are about to be live, ladies and gentlemen, with none other than Luxe Living Realty. Let's bring her to the stage. Ah, Darine, what's going on?
What's going on?
I know I'm super extra, but
It's okay. I love it.
any day with Lux Living Realty is a day that's a super win for the books. So I'm grateful to have you on the show and to be with us right now. Man, we have so much to catch up on because from the last time you were on the channel, man, both of us just like, we're just skyrocketing in everything that we said and we laid down on our very first interview. So for those of you that don't know, we have Darine Son from Luxe Living Realty, the team leader, leading three, it's three, right? You got three teammates,
Yes.
an executive assistant, and building out her admin as well. And it's a beautiful thing to see. And actually, Darine, you were like one of the first people to put me on game about virtual assistants. So that was a plug way back. But now we're here, 2023, baby. What's up?
2023, the market is absolutely shifting. We are seeing a lot of uncertainty on both sides, the seller and buyers, but it's still going. We're still moving. And I think the only people that are actually surviving this are the people that are staying consistent.
Man, and you never lied about that, right? Because the consistency is the key in all of this. And how are you handling it, right? Like what are you doing different, with this shift? Is it that you're just playing more offensively?
Yeah. So, majority right now, especially with a lot of people scaling back on their marketing dollars and what they're doing for lead gen, I'm pouring back in. I'm doubling down on seeing what systems work. And I think right now with what's happening, you gotta be fearless in this market. You gotta be the one kind of just being a gambler at this point, doubling down on what works. So social media strategically, I've got a few between, my CRM systems and leveraging my virtual assistant, and also, lead gen with text messagings and everything, trying to get more inventory into this market, especially with the South Jersey market. South Jersey, exterior of Greater Philadelphia, anything, suburban area is what I'm pouring into. So that's my primary focus. So listings, leveraging that, and then hopefully I like to work with the buyer leads and I like to keep them in my database as a backup. However, converting that is also difficult because again, there's no inventory. So you have to find the root to the problem and fix it. So me pouring back into lead generation for listings and seller leads is my primary focus right now. And again, with everyone kind of scaling back and not trying to focus more on that, they're kind of in a panic. I'm kind of like, okay, everyone else is in a panic. Well, I'm going to invest into it.
Exactly, right? Like while other people are feeding into the fear, there's people like me and you that are gobbling up market share, so to speak, right? Like just getting in it 100%. Darine, what about investing? Are you investing in this market?
Yes. Last year I sold 2 investments, of obviously going through personal things, but still, trying to find different avenues of residual income, whether it's flipping houses, finding another rental. It's definitely, I'm finding those avenues and following that path too, being an investor myself. But again, it's a lot. Everything is a learning process, right? But also it's trying to systematize and get all the right things in place so things run smoothly. I haven't had a lot under agreement lately, only because I've been, again, listing focused and focused on getting all the things lined up correctly. And I probably said this for almost a year already, but for me to be able to produce the numbers and generating the income that I was generating last year, for me to double it, I need to get a little bit uncomfortable at this point and try to make sure that I stay focused and stay consistent with what I'm pouring into, whether it's social media, realtor.com leads, all of that. And, scaling back on certain things that don't work, and then just doubling down and pouring into what really is money making lead generating activities.
Yeah, nice. Now that's why I love talking with you, right? Because you a boss, man. And it's like I've always just enjoyed like talking with you about these things, right? Like building your business. Like tell me a little bit about your virtual assistant and like your day to day. Like what's your like schedule like? How many times do you meet them? Because I'm just experiencing like I have two virtual assistants and like just trying to really get that down. So, you're speaking to me here. So
my virtual assistant, she is a blessing in disguise. She has background in running an entire team out in Texas and Arizona. So I did extensively interview her properly and ask the right questions, but utilizing her, she's been, not only just appointment setting, but focusing on the things that I can't fully control and do on a day-to-day, whether it's filing away my things for my emails, sending out documents for signatures, just simple admin tasks that sometimes I can end up getting, having put away past me because I'm too busy focused on, again, money-making activities. So I let her focus on what she's good at. And for me, it's mainly trying to let go of that control, because me being the control freak that I am, I think I can handle it all, single mom, 2 kids, with keeping up with the schedule, keeping up with having to go pick up my kids, soon later on in the next few minutes after we get off of this. But
let me know what time you gotta leave so I can be on point.
We're good on timing.
Okay. Yeah, because when we get together, man, it'd be like hours, man, and we just, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm just playing.
No, it's good. Actually,
we'll cut it off at 3. How's that?
My kid's father. So hold on, let me see what it says. But again,
listen, we got Luxe Living on the line.
Staying in communication. I mean, I just got back from Jamaica, and that was a good reset. But I mean, you got to keep grinding. I have my laptop working from there, and I shouldn't. I'm trying not to, but at some point I'm going to get there where I don't have to be on my phone and stay completely disconnected and fully engaged and in the moment with my children. And we created a lot of memories for sure. But when they were asleep, that's when I was on my computer working, getting in touch with my clients, making sure everything was okay, scheduling as I should, scheduling things accordingly, getting my agents who were showing the properties or having to do things for me while I was away. But I wasn't gone for that long. It's just definitely a learning experience, again, trying to detach myself and letting go and delegate while away.
Man, listen, drop the mic right here, because you just talked about a lot of things. We were even talking about this on Monday in our week 5 Q&A. And we were talking about delegation and control and letting go. And it's hard because, man, I don't even want to get into it because you're speaking to me right now. I'm learning how to let go. And sometimes you don't think that you're a control freak, and you really are. So dang, that's good stuff, Darine.
It's a lot. If you don't take care of your pipeline, if you're not paying attention or attentive to your pipeline, if you're not attentive to the people watching you, I can admit right now that there are some people in the top of my head where I'm like, holy shit, I got to reach back out to them. I completely blew them off or just completely let them go and forgot. So we're all human. We got a lot of stuff going on. I'm a mom. businesswoman trying to get things in place, keeping a household in order. It's a lot. It's a lot happening. But spring market's here. We got to keep going. We got to full-fledged go all in at the moment that we can, because once summer hits, August, July, you're going to see a slowdown in a lot of things. But again, when other agents are scaling back, you got to go all in and
go all in.
Literally just head for the finish line.
So real quick, I know we have a couple of things on our agenda that we want to get to, but in the spirit of real estate, right, talking about like a lot of things that you're saying right now can actually speak to my wife who's preparing for a real estate exam at the end of the month. So
Nice.
I kind of want you to give some advice for the newer agents. And, just so you know, this is live and we're sending it out to all of our agents here at RE/MAX Affiliates. So I know a lot of people look up to you, Darine, like you empower a lot of women. You're like the ideal, like women in business, women empowerment. You just spoke at the Cambodia Flag Raising. So like your voice affects like behavior of others, and that's influence. So can you give some of your gems to, let's say my wife, for instance, or any new real estate agent coming into real estate and hasn't experienced this market?
My whole thing with self-discovery, right? I'm all about self-reflection, self-care. You got to really take care of yourself, mind, body, and soul, whether you're exercising, whether you're reading things that kind of help motivate you, surrounding yourself with the right people. If you want to become a top agent, follow that top agent, be a part of their team, learn from them, grow with them, be open-minded to the ideas that these top producers are giving to you. I mean, there's a lot of free content out there. Follow all of the agents or other agents in other states, mimic the things that they're doing, follow and replicate some of their content, because I constantly fall back off that a little bit sometimes, where I create content, I generate the traction, I generate the views, but then I stop because I'm focused on, dealing with client issues. So my advice with agents starting out, especially to your wife, is, leverage your friends and family. Try to act like you know what you're saying or doing. Fake it till you make it. And honestly, things will just fall into place for you, especially if you're manifesting it, you're speaking it into existence. Like, if this is what you want in your life, like if, you and your wife end up, you're in the marketing field, like look at you, like all the video content that you've done, to see the major growth that you've been through throughout the year. You're the perfect person to help guide her in the right direction. And as far
Appreciate that, man, because you were one of my first, like, to me at the time, it was like a big deal. It was a big interview. And, even back then, you always like spoke that into my life. So I appreciate you for that, Darine.
Absolutely.
And that's what we do, man. We family, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We the fam.
I've always been in your corner, Justin, and you've always been in mine. So I really, really appreciate that. But you're definitely the things that you've learned and you've taught and all of the things that I'm just happy for you to see you keep thriving and growing and all of the things you're teaching everyone. So again, whether a new agent, someone trying to revitalize their business, like I'm 7 years in the business, but it wasn't until recently that I felt compelled and felt like,
Your mic went out.
But again,
there you are.
Yeah, it went out. I had a call come in. Hopefully it just stays like that way for a little bit. But
so how long, because now we're getting into something, right? Like how long, like how many years was it until like you started to see the rapid growth that you're seeing like last year, for instance?
I had to let go a lot of things, right? Right. Letting go, whether relationships, I was always working 2 jobs. real estate is my only vehicle right now that I'm pushing towards. Like, I'm not working a second job. I'm not working at the nightclubs. I'm not working as a waitress anymore at the casino. And that's letting go of that idea, right? Letting go of like, okay, I'm making money hourly, but like, sky's the limit with us as agents and the possibilities of how much money we can make. So
come on.
Focus those hours when I'm waitressing, making a few tips an hour that I'm making, 6 hours, we were making close to like $300, $300 to $400. Like, think about if an hour if I'm just cold calling, an hour cold calling a neighborhood, like I can get a listing, and it takes care of it for the whole month. Like, it takes care of my income and what I need to spend or whatever it is for a whole month, just focusing on that. So time blocking is a thing too, where I try to do everything early in the morning. But it's tough trying to stay consistent and falling off. But again, systematizing things, leveraging other people to kind of do things for you, like my virtual assistant, my executive assistant. So that's really where I'm at with things.
Yo, and you gave me a gem today too, right? And like, this is just for the audience, right? These are the type of relationships that I am wholeheartedly believing in, that if you're watching my content, that you'll start to develop. Because I talked to Darine this morning just to tap in about this reel that we posted today, which that was amazing, man. Like, just your accomplishments, man. Shout out to you. But you gave me that, right? You said executive assistant. I said, hold on, yo, what? Yeah, Myra got a new title. Like, and it's just like we feed off each other. So I let my virtual assistant Myra know today. I said, hey, you're now my executive assistant. You know what I mean? And but you know what? It makes them.
You got to make yourself legitimate. Like, no one's gonna, like, I pay her under my LLC. Like, it's taken out of my account. Like, she works 40 hours a week. And she sends me her details of what she does on a day-to-day. And I'm reinvesting in her too. So anything that she has coming in, if it's a lead that comes from her, I plan on giving her a bonus. So if that lead closes, she's getting a bonus. So obviously taking care of the people that work for you, because if you don't take care of them, like, you're nowhere without your foundation. And the people that you work with are your foundation, whether friends, family, employees. Like, that's what you got to focus on. Like, pour back into the same foundation to make sure that it's nice and sturdy before you keep building. Because again, some people can build it with no solid foundation and it completely falls apart. And we don't want that.
Almost like the story in the Bible where the man, he builds his house upon the sand. The one builds his house upon the rocks. And you got to have a strong foundation, right? You got to have a strong foundation. You can't build on top. And that's why I wholeheartedly believe in personal development, right? I took a whole year of getting myself together. What does that mean for anybody? Like, trying to be on time, waking up early, keeping your schedule, keeping your commitments. And, that's the foundation, that if you don't have your foundation set up properly, then you won't last long, like my good sister Darine.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, but again, like, I'm still building, I'm still growing. Like, even though I might have 7 years experience, that 7 years experience helped cultivate me to who I am today. Like, there was a lot of mistakes on the way that I've ran into. Those mistakes actually helped compel me into becoming a better agent, a better leader. I still trying to tap into that leadership where I need to focus mainly on that too. And I'm still engaging in that. But it's scary, because now it's not only scary, but it's me doubting myself. Like, that's why I'm saying it's scary. But again, we all have self-doubt, right? But again, you have to keep
imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah. And like, I went through that a lot. And like, you're good now. But yeah, the imposter syndrome, right? Like, I remember one of the first real producers events that I went to, and it was with you. And it was like, I just remember at that time, I just felt like I didn't belong here, and like, it was a hard like little situation. And we all go through that, especially in business, coming from different backgrounds, different environments, different cultures, different families. Um, but the beautiful thing is when you get to the place where you really start to believe in yourself and you start to really like yourself and you start to enjoy who you're becoming, because success is something you attract by the person you become, right? Doreen,
Um, Go
I
ahead.
know, I know, I really want to touch on the Cambodian New Year though, because like
Oh, yes.
that was awesome to see you downtown. Like, man, like it was so inspiring. And honestly, the only thing I could think of is like, one day I'm gonna have my time. It's not gonna be with the Cambodians unless they want to adopt me. Like I'm down, but you know what I'm saying? Like I just
Speaking
like
of
in
which,
general, right?
we'll adopt you. It's such a great culture. But again, we have a huge block party. I'm sponsoring the event May 13th on a Saturday. It says 9 to 7 on the flyer. Everyone can show up. Everyone's invited. We'll have Councilman Mark Squilla there. We'll have hopefully some of the mayoral electoral candidates there supporting. But it's gone to that point where like, I'm gonna shout out Puhua, you got Narun, Pang, Unrivaled, Encore Redevelopment, Sean, Sean Real Estate, honestly pouring back into the same community that I grew up in. So
Awesome.
actually, speaking of which about, the whole Cambodian New Year flag raising event, I was asked the night before to drum up a speech. I had no idea what I was going to
Oh,
write.
that was stressful, huh?
That's stressful. I had to
Jeez.
move my schedule around. My son couldn't make it because I'm trying to find like like he was sleeping over a friend's house. It was this beginning of spring break. No, was it beginning of spring break? Yeah. And he was sleeping over his friend's house. I had his friend's sister sleeping over my house with Joella, keeping her company. So it was cute. They ended up coming to the event with me, obviously, because again, chaotically, I couldn't go pick up my son in time, which he was so sad about it because he couldn't be there.
I bet.
And again, like my children are my foundation when it comes to the culture because I want them to embrace who they are. Like embrace that they're Cambodian. They might look different because they're mixed, Caucasian, but my like there's a beauty in it, right? I still speak Cambodian.
Sure.
I speak Cambodian to them. And I admire seeing other cultures like the Russian community, Vietnamese, Chinese cultures where they still have daycares that still speak that language. Only because speaking a different language taps a different part of your brain that a lot of people don't have when they're only speaking one language. So, I was asked to drum up a speech the night before. I'm trying to scramble, try to do all these things. I can't be late because it's only an hour. I made it there on time. I parked illegally at the PPA. Councilman, I don't know, the councilman parking, and I'm like, whatever, I don't care at this point. Making sure that I can have.
I'm Luxe Living, baby.
I ended up getting a ticket, $51 later. That wasn't too bad. I was scared that it was more. I thought it was going to get towed. But my daughter and our family friend Lils was in the crowd, and I gave the speech. Lily I could see my daughter in the crowd, and she's like so in awe and so like giggly and happy. And it was cute. I want my children to see it. I want them to see that, okay, this is what mom's doing. Mom's pouring back into the same city that shaped her. Like that's Philadelphia shaped me as a person.
We speaking legacy, man. We speaking legacy. That's what we doing, right? Living and leaving a legacy.
And I want to thank Sarun from Cambodian Association of Greater Philadelphia on recognizing me and mentioning me to speak at this event, and also Jenny Nam from the Nam agency.
Shout out to them.
Another woman empowerment, huge role model in the Cambodian community. a part of like the Vendors Association at FDR Park. So again, if anybody is in Philadelphia on Saturdays and Sundays, you can go there. It went from having, 5 vendors selling food illegally to now it's grown to almost 80 vendors and publicly acknowledged on the news, everything. So it's cool to see. It's cool to see the growth and to see that people like Jenny, Sarun, Sean, Narun, and Puhor all making a difference in our community. And if there's any, like, on top of the block parties, I have things set up where I do backpack giveaways in the summer before school starts. So it's really trying to pour back into the same community that helped shape me and raise me. And with a lot of the changes that are happening in Philadelphia, this block party means a lot because it's basically pouring back into the same business corridor to bring businesses back and revitalize the entire block. So, again,
Now, how did you feel like afterwards? Like, I know it was kind of like probably surreal, right? Like, now that you watch the video, how does it feel? Like, is it like, do you still like believe it, or is it like still like, yo, what the heck is going on?
It's crazy because I don't know, like, some people, I don't know, I imposter syndrome, right? So like being asked to do this, I kind of was like, okay, crap. And embracing the accolades that I've accomplished. I'm still in disbelief by the numbers that I did last year, having to deal with personal issues, but also embracing that I'm being recognized.
What were those numbers? What were those numbers, by the way?
As
For
far
a rough estimate.
Rough estimate, close to 15 million.
Jesus.
I would say.
Jesus. Jesus, help this woman. Jesus, take the wheel. He's out here
close to it. Close to it. And again, like some of the articles that I was written, like you remember that about that Keenan Anderson on South Jersey, how I was like,
yeah, the real producer, South Jersey real producer.
Yeah,
shout out to you for that as well. Yeah, because just for everybody that knows, when I see these situations, I'm always like, Darine, come on, let's talk about it.
And I'm sharing it. Like I'm sharing it with other agents that I like collaborate with and talk to on a day-to-day. And I love seeing what they do. And I'm like, hey, you could do this. 40. So they I think there was a 40 under 40. It went from 35 under 35. And I'm gonna be 34 next month.
Come on now. Boom.
34 next month. I'm a Puma, not a Cougar. I'm just kidding.
Yo.
But no, again, I always tend to draw back and get off the subject. But yeah, I am not, I don't know, it feels very surreal to be recognized. And the ambassador of Cambodia was there with him and his wife. So
doing it international, baby.
It was very international. It was, we had the Secret Service of the first Secret Service, Cambodian Secret Service man. He was actually one of Obama's right-hand man. He was there as well. So it's to be in the same room, to be in the same, also the first Cambodian principal at Furnace. My brother actually went to Furnace. But yeah, just to be a part of those huge accomplishments with other people who are really just trying to go out about on their day to day. They don't even know that they're inspiring everybody else around them, and they honestly just want what's better for the community, and they want to be able to contribute in any way possible. And for me, it's educating. Same thing with. I was talking to my circle of friends, Pang and Narun. They met me at one of my new listings in South Philly, just a few blocks away from 7th Street. And I was just saying, like, there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of people trying to like scam others who don't know better, whether they are minorities, immigrants. It's out there. People just don't know better. And, some of them are not keeping their homes and leaving it for generational wealth. They're kind of like, okay, they could make a quick buck, but at the end of the day, it's like you gotta you got to build your assets. You got to build your generational wealth to give that back to your children. Like, that's my whole goal. That's my whole plan. I have an exit plan. Like, my exit plan is to end up retiring in 5 years if I could do that. Like,
what does generational wealth mean to you, Darine? Is it just like the houses part, or like what else are you? Because I know you're trying, like, in some of our conversations, like, you have other things that are cooking, simmering, so to speak, and what does generational wealth mean?
generational wealth is something to leave back for my children and my children's children. I hope we make it that far out. But it's being able to show my kids that I'm able to do this for them, building it from the ground up, having them have something to look forward to. And it's not just the handout, it's showing them hard work, perseverance, grit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
my 8-year-old son plays ice hockey, Zayden, and he's a hockey superstar. Like, I pour that into him, where I constantly make it to all those games. And I'm just kind of like his biggest fan. I'm so loud in the stands, probably so embarrassed.
That's right.
I get told to be quiet all the time, but I can't help it. Like, it's excitement. They got to hear you be a cheerleader. You got to be their number one support system.
That's so good, man. That's so good, yo. And that's the type time I'm on with Jeremiah, my son. Like, I already got his Instagram account, right? And like, a lot of people won't understand, but on the subject of like generational wealth, like, when you really start to unlock like the potential with content creation through monetizing content, it kind of just, like you were saying, like speaking another language, right? It hits another part of your brain, because now you start to see unlimited possibilities. And saying all that to say, like, some people, they're real private with their kids, and it's like, I already know, and I have like, some idea of, like, not necessarily where he's going, but where I'm going, you know what I'm saying? And how to be able to like factor that in.
Some people are afraid, right? Because obviously the internet is scary. It really is scary, because I'm a little nervous on putting places that I'm at sometimes, because there are people out there who don't have good intentions, right? But we also have to be completely mindful and fully self-aware of our surroundings, of what we put out there. Like, I put out there of what my children are doing. I was never blessed with going into sports. So some of my family members now don't even understand it. Like, my son has a hockey tournament coming up on the same week that we're planning a family trip. And because, part of my family has never had that, never experienced in sports, they don't get it. They're just kind of like, no, that, like, they don't have to, he doesn't have to show up there. Like, this is a whole family trip. Why can't he just miss it? But I'm like, no, we made the
commitment, right?
Yeah, you made a commitment. You made my ex-husband and his parents made the investment to focus on my son's hockey. And if he loves it, we're pouring into it. We're pouring the time and the energy into it, whether practices, tournaments, all of it. So again, it's trying to initiate that general understanding that, sports is a good thing. Sports is what you want to have it, that it's going to create culture. It's going to create teamwork and effort, and to keep trying and not giving up. So I can understand what you're trying to do for Jeremiah, and you're on the right path to things. You do things with your kids, like stay active in their lives. Like, they want to see it. If you can bring them to work with you, they want to see it. They're not like, I gotta pick up my daughter soon, and we're probably gonna go check out a house and schedule some things, but we're gonna try to make it work. And
but she's with you. You know what I mean? Like, she's right there. Like,
she hates it. She hates it. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's times where she's like, "What? We're gonna go look at a house," and she gets like panics. But there's times where I took her into a house and we do a video, and she's gung ho all about it. She's my little superstar, Joella.
But yeah, even in that though, Darine, it's like, that's a whole nother like experience, like the way they will grow up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what they're exposed to at an early age. Like, that's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I had Jeremiah in Frankfurt the other day, running through the hallways, that all crazy. I'm like, go ahead, son. Have
And I don't think most people will understand that. Some people will kind of be like, okay, I got daycare, but like, I it took a lot out of me from the very beginning when I first started. Like when I wanted to go full-fledged 100% into real estate, I had to hire a nanny. I hired a nanny, but then also I had to hire the nanny, but also pay for it. Like I didn't have anybody else on my back or saying like, okay, like support you and paying for this nanny for you. Like I literally worked at the nightclubs to pay for the nanny.
My God, talk about that. Jesus, you're a hustler.
And on top of that,
Darine.
working at the nightclub, lead generating through the nightclub, handing my business cards out there. And I was like, shit, if I gotta network the right way and make sure I make these connections, fulfill these, obligations, not only just working the desk, but also getting in touch with the right people and like, hey, this is what I do also. But my mind works a little differently than a lot of people. And
$1 million worth of game right there, Darine. No, I don't think a lot of people will understand the depth of that strategy, but I'm so inspired just to be on with you right now because you really legit, you the real deal. And especially in regards to like me trying to expose my women to powerful women in business, and like you're a great example of like, babe, just watch her. You know what I'm saying? Just watch her. Just watch Darine. You good because.
And again, like I try to be as real as possible. There's things
that's what I love about you is you're raw and authentic. You know what I mean? And I think that's what gives the validity at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
I always try to be as authentic and transparent as possible. Like I'm my own quirky self. I get a little weird sometimes around crowds because I'm like an extrovert. I'm like an introvert, extrovert kind of thing. What do they call that, Justin?
Man, I feel like I'm the same thing though. Like I'm a little bit of both. Like I love being around people, the life of the party, but I need my own time.
Right. Not only just your own time, you end up gravitating to the people that you know already. So like it's like you have an extrovert's personality, but you're in an introvert's body who doesn't want to kind of communicate with people you don't really know. I don't know. But it's things that I'm learning to get used to. Again, public speaking, all of that. And I'm still like, I'm honored to even hear from so many people who reach out to me. Like some of my past girlfriends, my high school friends, Philadelphia High School for Girls, my alumni, like I didn't go to any of the events, like any of like the like some of the, I went to my graduation, I went to prom, I went to senior prom, but I never really engaged because I was so focused on working and making money. Like I shouldn't say this, but my birth certificate said I was old enough, but I really wasn't old enough to be working at a store, like at a store on South Street. So, again, that all started my behaviors of constantly working. Like I was always constantly focused on making money.
In the mix, making it happen, Captain. Man, Darine, May 13th, Saturday. I'm gonna be there. What time does it start?
May 13th, Saturday, 9 to 7 p.m. There will be traditional dancing. There will be music, live music. There will be vendors selling food, vendors selling clothes, t-shirts, just going out there, supporting the community, being involved. Like it's vibrant, it's live, it's real, it's raw. Like this is.
What's the address? Where will it be at?
This will be, one second. Let me forward it.
Yeah, and just for anybody that's watching, let me take you to content class, right? From this video, we will repurpose a promotional video so that way everybody knows when and where it is. All right, gotcha.
Yes. So again, sponsored by Encore Redevelopment, Unrivaled, Mekong Essentials, Bohoa, who's a part of the Cambodian Small Business Association for Cambodians. It's going to be a huge event, bigger than last year. Last year was done on Mother's Day, so we didn't have that many people there, but this time it's going to be bigger. because I was like, you guys can't do it on Mother's Day again. You guys got to do it on a different day. But it'll be fun. We'll bring back some of the traditional, some of the traditions where we, joke around and play with powder and shaving cream and smacking people in the face with it. But
Oh yeah.
it's going to be a good time. And you can go to the temples. You guys are open to going to some of the temples in Southwest, in Berlin. And there's just that it's learning about culture. It's Buddhism. It's, going to say your blessings and prayers, going to get your red bracelets and stuff. It's, you don't have to be Cambodian to enjoy the Cambodian New Year.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I'm learning now, like in my life, is like culture is everything. Being able to connect with people on like an intimate level outside of like, work or, common interests and stuff like that. Like you really touch somebody's heart when you start talking about their culture, you know what I mean? And show reverence and respect to it. So I'm for it. You already know me. And then every day is content day.
So the address is 2227 South 7th Street, Philadelphia, PA 19148. It's all along 7th Street, Cambodia Town, Little Cambodia Town, as we call it.
Yo, but shout out all my cousins out there, man. All my Cambodian cousins, man. Y'all got family, yo. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but some celebrations are still going on. So like you don't have to wait until May 13th to go if you can't make it. Like go to Southwest Temple, go to the temple in Wat Voorhees. There's a temple in Camden. But again, like these things are open to the public and everyone's having a good time and just really celebrating Cambodian New Year.
Luxe Living, luxury living. If it's luxury, she's in it. We have Darine Son, y'all, from Luxe Living Realty with Remax Affiliates. Darine, today we talked about some of your amazing accomplishments, such as being featured in Philadelphia Real Producers, the front page, correct? South Jersey? South Jersey Real Producers, not Philadelphia Real Producers. South Jersey Real Producers. Congrats on that. You were also nominated to give that beautiful speech, which is on Instagram. Last year, you had an amazing year and you're coming back to double it. You have built your team really solid. And the other thing I don't think we talked about, I wanted to point out is you have something amazing about your team, which I think is so valuable, is you have bilingual.
They're all bilingual, yeah.
Can you touch on that a little bit before we end, just to, give some ideas maybe to some other cultural teams that, can feed off of what you're doing?
I mean, my executive assistant is Filipino. I have an agent who speaks Spanish. I'm Cambodian speaking. It's a little bit broken up, let's be real, but I still can get the message across.
Still closing.
Yeah, and Stephanie, who speaks Kuchao, and which is a dialect in Chinese. But yeah, we've got
that just tripled your opportunities right there.
What's that?
That just tripled your opportunities.
Yeah, so, and we're client based where we focus on sellers, buyers, investors, commercial. And commercial as being like retail space, finding a home for your business. And it's going well because it's kind of, we all collaborate in a great way. Allie has a background in leasing condos and stuff. So we've got a good team. We've got a good foundation so far, and we're only growing from there. But for me, my main focus right now is really building the foundation and making sure I put all the systems in place so that nothing crumbles or falls to the cracks.
We just also want to take this time to shout out our wonderful partners and sponsors of today's episode, which is Remax Affiliates. Today, we want to give a special shout out to Remax Affiliates, Mount Laurel, New Jersey, your home office, and where you do most of your business. And shout out to the broker over there, Jim Lutz. That's my guy. Jim, I see you. We be networking digital business cards. Popple, he got one. You put me onto that. That's crazy. But shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to also our broker, Joe McCabe, who is an amazing entrepreneur, young, only 30 years old, and completely just when I met him, it changed my life. Just if if anybody ever met Joe, right, it's like it's not normal the things that he's accomplished at his age. So
Oh,
it makes sense that you come over here and get around that type of energy and just explode all crazy. So there's just
I mean,
beautiful things
I owe
happening.
it to Megan. I really do owe it to Megan because I really just came to this event, the Remax affiliates like office opening, because I needed to find something for my kids to do. And she threw this event, and then Joe McCabe was like, "Is that Darine?" And Meg was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, I've been sliding in her DMs for the past 7 years trying to get her to come on board." So maybe it was just a coincidence,
Relentless, man.
but here we are now, and it's been nothing but good things. And I thank Joe McCabe
Relentless.
for a lot of the opportunities that I've been handed. Thank you, Megan, for always giving the support and having me here. But it's nothing but growth and nothing but collaboration here.
Yeah, and it's really cool that we can like kind of lay all this out for anybody that's still hanging on there with us, because if you are trying to grow your business, right, it's not about this or that. It's about growing your business, taking ownership of your business and taking it to the next level. And in order to do that, you need the proper resources. And I feel like here at Remax Affiliates, we have a very nice arsenal of resources, connections, partners, and even just through our joint venture partners, we find a lot of different cool relationships in there. So if you are looking to maybe join a team, I know Darine, she is accepting team members, but she has very strict criteria she's looking for, because she's a top producer. She's they're shaking and baking out here. They don't got time for and every team is structured different, right? Like now my team with my wife is going to be more like newer agent focused, marketing focused. But it's we have niches in real estate, and there's a term, there's riches and niches, right? So
Well, your riches should be your wife focusing mainly on working with client base, because obviously that's
absolutely.
money making activities. And for you, it's agent focus, where you supply the marketing and helping with
She just gave me my business plan, yo.
yeah.
Jesus. Man, oh man. No, that's a good call though. But yeah, exactly. And dang, that just encouraged me, made me feel like, yeah, it's really that time, yo. We about to get it.
Stay focused on that. Don't try to like blend it.
Yeah,
Don't do too much.
yeah,
Focus on the main things that make you and drive you money, obviously using real estate as your vehicle,
absolutely.
and then start adding more passengers.
Absolutely. And man, Darine, yo, thank you for just taking the time to come on today. I know it was last minute, and I know I've been kind of nagging you and annoying you, like yo, but that's the relationship we have, right? It's a synergy. It's something where we feed off of one another. And when you get to this place in your business, it's like things don't necessarily have to be planned or um figured out. It's just you got to block the time, right? So today, me and Darine just made a commitment at 2 o'clock. No matter what, we stuck to it, and then from here, none of this was planned, y'all. It was just our relationship, and as well as my role with the brokerage. For me, I'm always looking for the realtors that want to leverage me, right? Like leveraging is a skill and an art in itself, but Darine definitely knows how to leverage, right? And I appreciate you for that, because what do I always say? You are the content, and you're somebody that you enjoy being the content. You're the content, and you trust me with when you give me your content. You don't hang over it and hover over it. Which for anybody that wants to know exactly what I do, it's all efficiency. I can't spend time editing one video because I edit 10 at a time. It's really complex, so it's the little things we all can learn and grow through. But if you only knew you could do it too, hallelujah. But I know
I
you like
love
that.
that.
That was a nice little
Quick elevator pitch.
yeah. But
You got
yeah, Darine, I know you got to get your kids, and I feel like this was time well spent. We talked about a lot. We're gonna have a lot of great content, but more than that is like we did this, and people are going to be watching, and they're going to be coming up to us like, hey, I seen you in Darine. And it's like, you know, we're doing what we do, right? So, Darine, you already know your network is your net worth, and I am so glad to have Luxe Living in the network. The Cambodian plug, right? Raising flags out here for the new year. But no, Darine, do you have any closing words you would like to say to the people before we go?
I just want to say, just keep pushing. Don't ever feel like you don't have an avenue to walk on, because you're gonna end up finding your own path at some point. So just along the way, just keep motivated, stay consistent, and have a reason behind it of what you're trying to do here. Whether you're trying to, educate the masses, whether you're trying to start a business, have that in your front view mirror and just drive to it. Go all in.
Go all the way in, y'all. Listen, just jump in. If it was a river, just jump in. You know what I mean? No life jacket. But Darine,
Keep swimming.
let's get it, yo. I'll see you at the Cambodian block party, man. I'm definitely gonna
Yes,
pull up there. I'm definitely gonna pull up
absolutely.
there. And I can't wait. Like I told you, like you another thing is you never know who's watching, right? But like I have my wife intentionally watching you, like pay attention to her. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about you is women empowerment, women in business, just a mighty warrior, a mighty woman of business, right? So I appreciate you for that. And you already know we tapped all the way in. And this is the network, y'all. Thanks, Darine.
Thank
See you next
you.
time.